Happy Thursday, everybody. Happy Thursday. How's it going on this Thursday for you? LSUODYSSEY.com breaking news live with you here now on this beautiful Thursday bye week. We've entered the bye week. So the bye week blues, whatever you want to call it, maybe actually just do something besides a ton of college football or LSU tailgating, rituals, or the LSU coverage rituals, the pregame, the postgame, all the insanity, all the articles. We are moving into something a little different, even though we're going to still keep up that same kind of regimen of work. It's going to be a little bit different content that you're going to definitely, I think, enjoy. But today, I didn't expect really anything big coming out news-wise. I thought whatever, might come out news-wise before Ole Miss, barring like a in-practice injury type situation, something like that, a suspension out of nowhere. I really believed that all of that would have been figured out in that last press conference with Brian Kelly. Well, apparently I was wrong. Kelly wasn't going to – I'm not going to give you an injury report. Was kind of appalled that even after he says, I'm not going to give you details on injuries, literally the next 4 questions are about injuries. I can't believe he didn't get upset about it. But yeah, he was like, I'm not answering these things about injuries. Wouldn't get into it. I get why now that we know what we know. It's not good for LSU's offense, I think, to lose someone like this for the season. I know some people might have some talk of, well, we're about to get Chris Hilton Jr. back if this happens. We're about to have this happen if we lose this. I think this kid was coming into his own, and I'm freaked out. I have not been able to confirm this news 100%, okay? 100%. But this is coming from a source that broke the last probably 5 of the last 6 stories of ours for breaking news-wise, and we've been kind of on a hitting streak here for the last few years where we haven't really got a story wrong, got a source wrong, anything like that since we thought Lincoln Riley was going to be LSU's head coach. So it's been a long time. Feels like a whole different lifetime ago. But, I publicly acknowledge that we made that mistake, and we learned from that mistake because we got taken for a ride by a really sketchy source that actually had a lot to do with the whole situation, but just used us to fulfill a certain role in the media for them to get what happened to be done. So it was very interesting. So we kind of wow, so that's how that happens. Okay. Holy shit, that's never happened to us again. This source to us, I feel, is pretty airtight. We'll see what we hear definitively. I've reached out to the player themselves, asked them, is this correct? Is this true? And haven't heard anything back yet. We've gone crossing this T, dotting that I with a lot of different sources here. And it's very interesting. We've heard from a source inside the program saying that Kyle Parker, LSU receiver Kyle Parker, is going to be out for the season with an injury to his arm of some sort that apparently he pointed to his arm something like that, and so I'm not exactly sure if that is 100% correct, what the 100% correct diagnosis of that injury is. But what I can tell you 100% is that I am hearing that Kyle Parker's arm injury is actually pretty serious, and it looks like it actually might be a season-ending injury, which is crazy, and kind of blows my mind because that young man was really coming into his own here. Scored that brilliant 40-something yard touchdown, just was looking like a potential star here at LSU. And so when I hear from a really good source, a strong source that says Kyle Park, and here's the thing, I like to have 3-4 sources to really go with a story before I go with a story, because I've learned some lessons the hard way of just going with one, and sometimes you get smacked up the side of the head by the world, looking like an idiot. We've kind of learned that, like, hey, we're going to go through as many sources as possible to make sure this is actually correct. And to me, we've had quiet, buddy. We've had a few sources be able to back this up from the initial source, that Kyle Parker has some type of arm injury that is more significant than thought from before, and is likely facing out to be out the rest of the season. That is very troubling if it occurs. The second part of this news, there's a second tidbit of news that we've received as well. And we already had a source who was giving us pieces of this news, and then of course Wilson Alexander asked Coach Kelly about this in the press conference, and Kelly kind of like, I didn't want to reveal that, but I have to, because it seems like Wilson had a source on that as well about CJ Daniels, and it's actually CJ Daniels' meniscus. He thought he had torn his ACL. And like that's what Kelly said in the press conference. He was afraid he had torn his ACL again. Very afraid he torn his ACL again, right? Okay. Kelly didn't tell you what it was, though. It ends up being his meniscus, and he is definitely out for Ole Miss. That is something we have been able to establish. He's likely facing a month out. He had surgery on this meniscus. So unless they're willing to risk him, unless he's willing to risk injury to play just in this game against Ole Miss, he's likely, CJ Daniels, out versus Ole Miss. So, yeah. You've got 2 LSU receivers, top receivers, who are likely out for the season. Or sorry, one out for the season, and another with an injury that's taking him out for a month. My mind started going with, wow, there's so many guys at LSU who've been out for the season already, just 5 games in. We've had John Emery Jr., and then it was Jacobian Guillory, and then it's Harold Perkins. It's 3 already, for Christ's sake. And now it appears Kyle Parker, and I hope I'm wrong on this. I honest to God, hope my source is wrong on this. And we'll probably not know until the game, until we get some type of injury report. Probably not know 100% until then, just because of what's gone on with some of the stuff in the background with trying to shut our sources down inside the locker room, trying to shut down our availability to break news stories, to get information, stuff like that. We've had to kind of shift and kind of try to duck and move and, jip and jive. So we've we had taken a huge hit to LSU's receiving core now. And without a doubt, what we can prove 100% for sure, Brian Kelly has already said CJ Daniels had a knee injury. Not too serious. Tried to, of course, make it look like it was all good, but he's torn his meniscus. He's out for a month with the surgery at least. And they'll probably even expedite his process, probably be back even before then. So it's and then Kyle Parker with some type of arm shoulder thing going on that is gonna knock him out for the rest of the season. Is something he apparently told some source. So it's very interesting that you've got two receivers who it's not just interesting, but it's awful because but it's also like wow, two receivers at the same time. Then we've got Chris Hilton Jr. out as well, who has not played a single snap for LSU this season. Dressed for one game, hasn't played like LSU has been snake bitten with injuries. So it's I just hate it for these kids. I hate it for these kids. Here's the thing. Chris Melder says, next man up. Here's the thing, though, Chris. How many more men can LSU have? You know, like we're starting to really run out of some guys here, you know, and then it puts a lot of pressure and a lot of like oomph. You've got to deliver on every play. You got to carry the water, you know, on all these other guys who are really excelling and thriving in these roles where they're not the absolute pinnacle superstar, get the ball on every play type guy, you know, maybe an Aaron Anderson in that role, you know, just for an example. But now they're going to be expected to really deliver on every damn play. Like that's Kyron Lacy as well. We've seen him drop big time passes. So I mean, a lot of third down passes. And so I want to be careful on the Kyle Parker news because I hope I'm wrong there. And I don't want to like make a young man's day any worse. Don't want to make the injury that he's already gone through worse. The recovery, the vibe of it all for him, it sucks because this is a young man who's really starting to get some reps, starting to get some playing time, and he was making a lot happen with very few targets his way. I mean, Kyle Parker's barely gotten the football, and he's got one of the best touchdowns of the season for the team. And outside of Lacey's 5 touchdowns, I mean, everybody's got 2 or 1 touchdowns. You know, like it's been slim pickings for the skill position guys. It's been really slim, really slight. And another thing, CJ Daniels. You hate to see this young man out for any point of time. Once again, another dude with, you know, this is his last season of eligibility, basically, that he's going to want to use or really even needs to use. He hasn't quite shown it on the tape like 100%. He's shown it enough to me that I would draft him. With a first round pick, though, I don't know about that. And that's the thing is he could be a first round pick, CJ Daniels, if he's able to be on the field and show what he has and what he's able to do. And we haven't seen him be able to break that tackle yet and be able to get beyond. I mean, he's made some moves, break some tackles, but I'm talking about really make those big time plays and take it to that next level. And now he's got a meniscus injury during the most intense month of the season. I mean, guys, we're going to have no Kyle Parker, no CJ Daniels, at least for the month of October, whatever you believe, whatever you subscribe to, whatever you think about us and our news gathering abilities, even though, I mean, we've been able to, I think, prove our worth there the last few years here. But regardless, one thing is certain, these guys are hurt. They've had significant medical attention, and just because we have a bye week doesn't mean that they'll be on the field versus Ole Miss. I'm really hoping I'm wrong there. I'm hoping when Kelly said we're going to have all of our guys ready for Ole Miss, it wasn't just politicking. And, you know, of course he's going to say that when nobody knows about Kyle Parker's injury yet, you know. That's exactly what I would say to the media. I wouldn't just hey, and by the way, guys, Kyle Parker's hurt. You know, why I wouldn't do it because that's not my job. My job is to like let no one understand anything about our locker room. Let no one understand anything about what's going on, the playbook, what's going on with certain guys' roles on the team. Like it would be ultra patriots. I'd be ultra paranoia if I was a head coach. So especially when it came to the media, my God. And so I understand some, you know, with the whole thing, it sucks. It sucks for LSU and their roster, his teammates, Kyle Parker's teammates. It sucks for him ultimately, of course. We've already said that a few times. It goes without saying. It's quite an obvious specter in the corner here. Is that like there's a clock, there's a limit on how many times these young men can play. So it definitely sucks, I think, for Kyle Parker. If he's out for any length of time, anywhere close to what these few sources have said, which, I mean, some of these sources have broken some big stories for us already, given us some big time news already, for some stories that you read on Sports Illustrated, on on3.com, all across the country. So I'm not going to be doubting or disbelieving those sources just yet, you know. But at the same time, with it being a young man out for the season type of news, I need to see just a little bit more. But at the same time, it's about 99.9% there. I hope Kyle Parker literally will comment on this thing and say, actually, he's wrong. I'm actually not out for the season. We're good to go. I would literally rejoice and then like eat the poo in a solo cup, you know, that the other guy wouldn't do. Like I would like embarrass myself, you know, like I just why are these injuries happening so much to LSU? Why is LSU so banged up this season? Is it because we're not practicing hitting? Is it because we're not practicing the intense nature of the game throughout the offseason? There's so much like, hey, you know, don't hit that guy, back off on the hits. Because that type of stuff I've seen throughout the offseason, and it's done LSU no favors. So Kyle Parker, C.J. Daniels, two LSU receivers who haven't, blown the lid off of the season, but they've been exciting. They've been fantastic when given the football. The thing is, we haven't seen the explosive plays except for just that one touchdown for Kyle Parker down the sideline, which, he's now in his second season. I expect him to make plays like that, Like it was a sick play, a sick pass. It was an absolute dime from Garrett Nussmeier, a brilliant catch. But I expect Kyle Parker to be making those type of plays when he has that opportunity out there, He's that type of specimen. He's that good. And so CJ Daniels too. And I've been underwhelmed by what we've seen from CJ Daniels. And it's not, I don't think, any fault from CJ Daniels himself. I think it's been more the issue of feeding so many mouths on the offense. There's so many guys getting the football in areas and situations that he usually is getting the football in, And so he's not running those routes. Someone else is running those routes. Someone else is getting those targets, and that's new for him. He's having to adjust on the fly, having to make a feast with piecemeal, scraps. And CJ Daniels hasn't scored a touchdown yet for LSU. And he won't now for, at least until the Alabama game, it looks, out with a meniscus. Kyle Parker likely out for the season with some type of shoulder injury. Still trying to confirm that 100%. I will repeat that. Sorry. Hitting up sources, talking to people. Slayer. I can't even see what that comment says. Oh, it's a face going like this. Hey, man. I don't know if that's in relation to us or what, or if the news. I'm not sure. But I've got to be as real as possible with you guys. I can't confirm it 100%, but multiple sources have already backed it up. It's as good as, yeah. I'm someone who just likes to. I most of the time don't really want to break a story until the person themselves tells me, and then we'll go for it. That's really what I do most of the time. But this is an LSU receiver room that hasn't been explosive this season, and now we are losing two big pieces, key pieces, through the teeth of this, really rigorous schedule here for LSU. That's, man. You want all your weapons. You want all your guys. Let's take a look here. I wanted to bring up the receiving here and see who's leading LSU in receiving yards. I know these numbers already, but I think you should, as fans, if you're not already plugged into this. For every fan, I think you gotta get looking at this and kind of like, whoa, is something wrong here with LSU receiving wise? I don't think so. I don't think it's like, oh, this is we're Hankton's going in the wrong direction. Oh my God, there's so many issues here. I think this is a season where, just kind of like 2022, It's a little disjointed in the pass game. It's a little, there's not such a connection or chemistry in the passing game. But when it counts the most is what I'm trying to say. Like, you've seen Nussmeier, I think, throw the football far better than Jaden Daniels did in 2022. He's spreading the ball around to so many guys. He's actually getting guys confidence with touchdowns, big plays. But there's so much more there from Garrett Nussmeier and this receiving corps. There's so much more that they're capable of. Aaron Anderson has been unbelievable this season. 27 catches, all of them in tough traffic, tough positions, taking really nasty hits sometimes, making guys miss, getting tough yardage for the third and shorts, third and 6, third and 7. He is that third down target. He's got 7 third down reception conversions this season, 14 total first down reception conversions. He is Garrett Nussmeier's number 1 most targeted player on third down. He overtook Kyron Lacy this last game. Kyron Lacy has the most targets of any receiver for LSU. Kyron Lacy, 352, 25 catches, 5 touchdowns, 14.1 per catch. 1 100-yard game, 107 yards this last night. 5 touchdowns, which I believe was leading the SEC, and he did that mostly in the first 3 weeks of the season. So we haven't seen enough, I think, explosion from Kyron Lacy. We haven't seen enough domination. And he's gotten the ball enough. He's had the opportunities. He's made some critical third down drops. So, don't act like Kyron Lacy has set the world on fire. Don't also act like he's been absolute garbage. Get him off the field. But he has been talking about his expectations. 1 out of 10. Has he fulfilled the expectations everyone thought of him in fall camp? He's going to be the next big time wide receiver you got. I would say he's been about 7.8 out of 10 right now. He's basically fulfilled those expectations. He just, for me, is capable of that little bit more and being like a first round, second round, early round pick, because he's that good, I think, Kyron Lacy. And I think he can do more. You can always do more when you're dropping passes continuously on third down. It's not something that his haters can repeat. It's not something that he does it. And he dropped a touchdown as well, too. So it's not anyone hating on it. It's Kyron Lacy can do better than this. He can elevate his game. Even with the pretty good stat line so far. He can do better. What is blowing my mind is that Mason Taylor, first in catches, third in yards, on the board with a touchdown, first on LSU's team in yards after catch, I found out. Stat from Pro Football Focus. First on the team in yards after catch, Mason Taylor. So you've got Mason Taylor, and really, he hasn't even been that involved, I feel. Like, he hasn't been a focal point of the offense. He's been a complementary piece, Mason Taylor. And he still had 28 catches, leads the team in catches, averages a first down every catch, even though his average depth of target is, I think 6-7 yards. So a lot of this stuff is close range. When we actually call and throw the big downfield play to Mason Taylor, it's always working, except for that one time that the ball got tipped and it went through Mason Taylor's hands. He was credited for a drop on that, his only drop of the season. I don't really think that was too much of a drop, even though he should have caught it. It was deflected like crazy, and it definitely made it difficult for him to catch. Outside of that play and an interception that Nussmeier threw trying to force it into Taylor, most of his downfield plays have been cashed in, and he's been incredible. I say unleash Mason Taylor even more. Let him help this receiving corps. Because if Mason Taylor starts going off and bullying these safeties, getting these corners to have to get involved to get him to the ground, stretching these linebackers all over the place, it is going to cause havoc and open up so many lanes in that secondary for Garrett Nussmeier to pick people off. Xavier Thomas, get him the ball more. Just 12 catches, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns already. And he had a one rush for 26 yards in the last game. Let me look up his targets real quick here. 1 second. What's up, buddy? I usually don't have Thursdays off, usually just Friday. But today I take Thursday off. Let's see here. Receiving targets. Xavier Thomas has only 15 targets this season. Okay. 15 targets this season. He's had 12 catches, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns, which is the second most. You look at the touchdowns, is 5, and then down to Aaron Anderson with 2, Durham with 2 receiving touchdowns, 1 versus South Carolina, I believe, and then another last week, of course, 71 yards on the first play of the game. Xavier Thomas, 2 touchdowns, has a ton of return yards as well. Kyle Parker, another one with a touchdown. See, Kyle Parker only had 7 targets this entire season. 7 targets, had 3 catches, 55 yards, 18.3 per catch, making plays. Why wasn't he given the football more? Let's see. How many? He had 2 starts against USC, of course, against South Alabama. How many snaps? 43 total snaps. 11 snaps for Kyle Parker versus USC. 11 snaps for US against USC in week 1. Week 2 against South Carolina. He did not play at all in week 2 then. In week 1 against USC, 11 snaps. He didn't play at all in week 2. Week 3 at South Carolina, he played in just 3 snaps. Week 4, home against UCLA, 21 snaps. Week 5, South Alabama, 8 snaps. Kyle Parker's a weapon that LSU really just scratched the surface on. Trey'Dez Green has a touchdown and just two catches, 10 yards, and I think like 3 targets, maybe 2 targets. Like it's very minimal. And then look at that. CJ Daniels, 20 catches, 239 yards, 12 yards per catch, 0 touchdowns. 0. And I don't think that's really on him and his fault and he's bad because of it or some bullshit. I think it is just – I think it's just a symptom of the offense, you know. So what can LSU do to help this receiving game? They've still got guys. They've still got weapons. They can absorb this loss of CJ Daniels. They can absorb this loss of Kyle Parker. They can ride this nasty wave, okay? They can do it. But it's going to take heavy doses of Mason Taylor. He has the eye of the tiger. Give him the ball. Unleash that man. Like, let Mason Taylor go off in these games for 200 yards. Like, seriously, give him the football. Like, this young man leads the team in yards after catch. He can't be stopped. He's going to pick up a first down every time he gets the football. And then guess what happens? You run these same routes again. You do a pick play. And then you throw it to the receiver who's cutting inside while everyone goes flowing to Mason. You know, like just that little just hesitation. Oh, he's going to Mason. I'm going to beat him to that play. I'm going to jump that route. And then, boom, the guy's on the inside completely screws that guy over. His leverage is all the way outside. He's completely going to the inside slant, inside route. Boom, on the release, few steps, turn inside. It's there already, baby. That pick play. You know, you can use these. Oh, this is our tendency. This is our tendency, and then just completely cut them. And we've still got the receivers and the tight ends and the weapons in the passing game. Caden Durham, Jawan Johnson out of the backfield, Josh Williams. These guys, Caleb Jackson as well, who is getting forgotten here, and I don't think that's really fair. This young man can still have a hell of a season for LSU. Just because Caden Durham had a historic night doesn't mean that Caleb Jackson couldn't do the same thing either. I understand he's not seeing the field as well as he should right now. He's not getting the outside rushing plays that he should right now. It's all way too centralized up the gut. He needs to get some running plays to the outside, but also that weight gain they forced on him, bad idea again for another season, another player just like Savion Jones. Bad idea to put that weight on these guys. Savion Jones has rode that wave, and look at the season he's having. One of the best defensive linemen in the SEC right now, Savion Jones. Okay, so I can see Kyle Parker coming back from this injury, being able to contribute to LSU, if that's next season, if that's late in this season, whatever it is. I think he can have that comeback. I kind of jumped off that subject, but I think Caleb Jackson can also have that. He can also be fine with that weight gain, that forced weight gain, and be fine in the next season that he does for LSU, which would be his junior season. But still, long season still to go. Like, that's what's ridiculous is we've already made judgments. A lot of fans, a lot of media people about who the best players on the team are, who's this guy, who's going to be this. And I feel like the script is almost yet to be written. I feel like there's so many possibilities here for this team. There's so much young talent on this team that people aren't even talking about. People don't even know about. I mean, how many people in the wide media actually know about a guy like Deshaun Spears or a guy like Jordan Allen? How many of these esteemed media members, like how many of these guys really know the nuts and bolts of LSU's program? A guy like Ahmad Bro. They don't know too much. You know what I'm saying? So I just keep that in mind. But yes, to wrap up this first segment, LSU, from our sources, I'm not 100% on this. I will say that. Not 100% on this, although this source, the main source, has never been wrong on anything. I just always like to hear this stuff firsthand. So I'm kind of just always so paranoid still. But I think we can pretty much say here that confirm this, that Kyle Parker has a type of serious shoulder arm injury, and it's likely going to take him out for some significant amount of time. We have heard that he said out for the season, that in his own words, he said out for the season, not someone else putting that in his mouth, but that he said that. So I'm just, we'll wait on that and wait for Kyle himself, if he's going to say something, or Kelly puts out the injury report, whatever it is. And hopefully that report is wrong. Hopefully that is one we get wrong. Bless you, boy. We have a special guest. Hmm. Sorry. God damn. Why are there so many injuries for LSU? I don't understand these injuries. I don't get it. LSU will be facing Ole Miss next week in what should be quite an interesting game, in my opinion. Um, I think it wouldn't be as meaningful, in my opinion, if unless Ole Miss had lost, because then it makes it like Ole Miss loses. Now everything is kind of up in the air for them. Players only meetings, players led meetings, whatever you want to call it. Um, 17 points against Kentucky, just looking so disjointed, losing that game at home. Now face South Carolina, the whiniest, most pathetic fan base in the country, who literally got some calls that should have like won them that game, and then they bitched about the referee because of the two pick six calls. That one of them was a little soft, sure, but they threw the second one because they already had done it the first time with the cheap shot on Nussmeier on the return. They were clearly trying to hurt LSU's quarterback on the returns. If he's making an effort to make the tackle, it's like instead of just blocking the dude, they were trying to take Nussmeier out. It was quite clearly. And so, referee, he's going to protect one of the best quarterbacks in the game. He's been advised to do that. He's going to throw those flags. So, South Carolina, I know you're not a big enough program to understand the game, but that's how this goes. That's how this goes. Your quarterback could have beaten LSU, Lenore Sellers. He was looking fantastic against LSU. He was looking like we couldn't stop him. Okay, and now you're gonna cry and cry and cry still about this whole thing. Still, I just don't. I don't get the crying. I don't get the worrying about the referees weeks after the. I mean, LSU have been screwed by some calls. LSU have had the benefit of some calls. This is the SEC. You've got to move on now. South Carolina's been in the SEC how long? I mean, I know they could hide behind Spurrier and some of the great running back or defensive line or random receiver recruits that they would have, Alshon Jeffrey of the world. God, who's that running back they had that was so good that tore his ACL like twice or something? Oh, I can't remember his name right now. It's killing me. But they've had some all-star recruits. They've had some great players in South Carolina history, but they haven't done much. They haven't done anything really. They haven't won anything. So it's like it's just very embarrassing to see someone, a huge fan base who hasn't won anything, continuing to cry about a game that they can once again also lost. And it's like you move on and try and you win. You try and win and just forget these losses or try and learn from them. But literally making it the cornerstone of your life, like I've seen some really embarrassing posts from South Carolina fans. I am wishing to God that I had saved all of these posts and stored them up so I could just destroy them right now, because it's just some of the childish madness was unbelievable. Yes, Chris Melder. Yes, Marshawn Lattimore, right? Or what was Lattimore's first name? Yeah, Marshawn Lattimore. No, 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 no. That was a New Orleans Saint. Um, Let me just look this up. Marcus Lattimore. Yeah. Marcus Lattimore. Yeah. That's who it was. Nurse Court, what's up? How you doing, Court? It was awesome to see you in Vegas. I made the big mistake of literally not finishing those fish and chips or just ditching them and just coming back in to the party. And I was like totally screwed, left out of there, and couldn't come back in. They wouldn't let me come back in with the fish and chips. Shay Dixon was there. I was able to meet him again and talk to him for a bit and take a photo that nobody's posted. And people are wanting to take weird photos of me all over the place. It was very strange. I had a few random people taking photos of us. It's kind of bizarre. I didn't understand why. But then I guess I saw why on some forums. So it was very strange, Court. It was very strange, but it was awesome to meet you. And I really wish I had stuck around so that we could have come back in there and kept hanging out, because, yeah. But didn't you not even make it in there? Didn't they say like you couldn't even take your drinks in there or something? Or something crazy like that? It was something nuts. But anyway, it was awesome to see you. And it was cool to at least meet you for once, and hopefully that continues again at a game this season, because we're still going to be there for a few. To catch everybody up who's just barely coming in here, we have breaking news that LSU has a pair of receivers banged up. We can't confirm 100% one detail of this. There's one detail we cannot confirm 100%. That this player is out for the season because of this injury. That is just the one detail we cannot confirm just yet. What we can confirm is that CJ Daniels and Kyle Parker are both out for the season. We know from Brian Kelly's press conference, he said they were worried it was an ACL. He had an ACL before, but it wasn't. We now know it is a torn meniscus. He had surgery on that meniscus. Kyle Parker, though, apparently told someone that he was out for the season. Someone who has spoken to LSU Odyssey off the record, I mean, at least anonymously. We put their version of everything on the record. Sorry. I keep having the song Off the Record, the My Morning Jacket song, stuck in my head. So they did a live stream the other night. So excuse my weirdness. Yeah. So he said that Kyle Parker said that he is out for the season to someone who spoke to LSUODYSSEY.COM. We've looked into that, and multiple sources have backed that up to the point that we felt comfortable of going with it. Once again, though, it's never enough for me. I've got to have more sources. Like, I've got to have more evidence. I've got to have more backup. So I will say, it's 99.9% confirmed. We have reached out to Kyle Parker himself for comment. We have reached out to as many different people as we can for comment about this, without trying to be a distraction, without trying to get up people's butt with their I don't even know where I was going. That trailed off hilariously. But but yeah, we don't want to bother anyone with this breaking news. But this it bothers me that a dude like Kyle Parker, as good as he is, coming into his own, we should have been targeting him more. He might be out for the season from like an arm injury. That just sucks. That just sucks a load of just rancid, stone sour dicks. Seriously, that just sucks because Kyle Parker's a badass. So yes, it seems CJ Daniels will be out for at least a month. Maybe rushed back. Maybe they gamble on he's going to be okay for this game or this game, ahead of schedule. But this guy's going to at least miss the Ole Miss game. At least. And I would venture to say surgery for a meniscus, unless they're willing to like sacrifice him getting hurt for like the rest of the season and hurting his knee, all the stuff that CJ Daniels would be horrified to suffer. They're going to be really careful with him, I think, bringing him back because of those reasons. And because this guy's already got NFL draft cachet, right? CJ Daniels, I think so. He just kind of wants to put the cherry on top, and really seal that deal at LSU. And he's been good, but he hasn't been great. And he hasn't been able to make those great plays yet. Hasn't been able to break that tackle and make that move for 30, 40, 50 yards down the field. He hasn't been able to catch that long bomb over that guy's head, He hasn't been able to do that yet. And now he's not going to be able to do that for another month. That sucks. That sucks. Oh, yes. Congratulations to Jarrett Roser and, oh my God. And Julie Boudman. I'm probably just destroying her name right there. Julie Bowdwin. I love those two. Those two have done such amazing recruiting coverage over the years that literally for a while helped LSU Odyssey to even like have any clue what was going on with recruiting. And I would always tell them appreciation. I'm not sure if they'll remember that, but we always made sure to send them DMs or post comments, retweet their stuff. I never really felt like they're a competitor. Like they specialize in something that is just I'll never be able to do. I'll never be able to specialize in. I mean, maybe, but they do something so good that it's like you can't even compete with that. So why even try that? We're good at this over here. I think maybe we should stick to that. So like, thought I could get some ice all smoothly, but I look like Oprah Winfrey on a treadmill right now. Holy shit. It's taking a while here. Yeah, I just want to congratulate those two on their movedon3.com because those two are awesome. Those two have been under the radar, working way hard for years, covering kids, giving kids a chance who really deserve it, really deserve that extra attention and that interview, that big, leg up. And usually it was Jarrett Roser, usually it was Julie Boudman doing these interviews with him. I remember Julie's awesome Mason Smith documentary as well, and Mason was a superstar, but hell, Mason's from I think the same area that Julie's from, something like that, or that Julie grew up in. I'm not sure, something like that. So an area she has a connection to, Terrebonne, and so she did that series. It was incredible stuff, and she's a great filmographer. All the recruiting film that she's done, where you're talking about like practices, camps, moments where kids are getting offers, all this stuff. Jarrett Roser goes to the games. He's filming games. He's always posting this great stuff from games. He's really one of the best high school recruiting experts, in my opinion, in the country. And I think it's great that he's finally been given this opportunity because Jarrett Roser is one of the best. So I say salute to Julie and Jarrett Roser. Salute to the grinders. You guys grinded for years. Years. And you got your chance. You got your big opportunity at on3.com. I am excited for you guys to get that chance, get that opportunity to kick some ass, take some names, and hopefully be able to make more money doing what you guys love to do than ever before. Because really, I think that's what I'm kind of referencing here. I'm kind of celebrating. Like, salute to you guys for getting that bag, really. Because in the media game, you guys are it's I don't think people realize, but the media is so underpaid. It's ridiculous. It's unbelievable how much of the work is for free. Okay. I can't imagine how long people like Jarrett and Julie did like that type of stuff for, and I'm doing the same thing. We get some subscriber cash, and I'm not gonna lie, that subscriber cash sometimes helps us pay our rent. Sometimes we're not able to pay that rent unless we get that subscriber cash in from Wix on time, and bam. So money's tight for everybody. We get it. And so I really want to salute people like those guys who've grinded, who've worked their asses off, and they deserve to get those opportunities. So congrats to Jarrett Roser. Congrats to Julie Boudlin. I'm like saluting them with, you guys don't even want to know what I just mixed in that drink. Okay. Have you ever heard of mixing vodka with V8 Splash? Vodka and V8 Splash? Oh my God, it's amazing. V8 Splash, it's got to be strawberry banana, though, V8 Splash. And it's got to be just pure, straight vodka, no flavored bullshit vodka, no gross. It's got to be, we got to go with Ciroc here. It's got to be like Puff. Salute to Puff. Just kidding. No. Words won't come out of our mouth of that. My God, that guy's just a sick bastard. He's getting what on the other end of the spectrum. That guy's getting what he deserves as well, which is hell. But we won't get into that guy. Catch everybody up once again for new viewers who've just jumped in. We're going to try and do stuff more like this to try and help people who are watching at different times, stuff like that. I want you guys to understand what we're talking about. I want you guys to be involved here. I want you guys to know what is being consecrated at this time. And sadly, it's not good news. It's not news I enjoy to break. It's not news that I'm like, yeah. This is news that really sucks. That two receivers who close to really taking opportunities they've been given as, starter / close to starter in the case of Kyle Parker. Case of CJ Daniels, starter. They've been given these opportunities and haven't quite been able to fulfill them to the absolute limit, but they've been able to really do a good, solid job, and you felt like they were building to something more. And then, shit, that was a strong one. You thought they were building to something more, and instead, injuries again have plagued LSU. I just can't believe it. But here's what's also incredible about this team. John Ray Jr. goes down. He looks like the best running back on the team. He goes down to the torn ACL. Oh, my God, what are we going to do? We can't run the football. Caden Durham goes off for a record amount of yards. He goes off for, 196 in one quarter? 217 in the first half? Okay. Jacobian Guillory goes down. He goes out for the season. What does LSU's defensive line do? JVR Suggs balls out with 4 pressures in 8 snaps and a sack and a batted pass. You got Deshaun Womack batting 3 passes down just with a couple snaps off the bench. You've got all these different guys contributing big time. And then you got Braden Swinson, second in the country in sacks. You got Savion Jones having an incredible season. 3 fumble recoveries, except that third one was taken off the board because of the Greg Penn, the third review reversing that. 2 fumble recoveries, 2 forced fumbles, 4 Savion Jones, as well as 3.5 sacks, 4.5 TFLs all over the place. So LSU have been able to rebound from some of these early hits. It hasn't been against the ultimate competition, but it's been against pretty good competition. So testing competition, at least. Is that because LSU aren't that good? Is this testing competition we see, against UCLA 17-17 at half, Nichols, where, it's 23-21 at one point in the third quarter? Are these the type of games, are these the type of opponents that really are going to define LSU later in the season when we're talking about losing, 3 or 4 games or more? Or are we going to be talking about, this next month and a half being the games that define LSU? Because throughout the first 5 games, we couldn't really tell what the hell this team was going to be. This is really the point of where it all pivots. And I think what you saw from the defense just shows that this team has a staff that can really coach these guys. And I know we can blame play calling for maybe the USC loss. I know we can blame this or that on the coaches, and maybe Kelly shouldn't have fired this guy to begin with, or that, there's certain things we can all complain about something. But all in all, LSU has the perfect staff for this team, for this program. Can you not believe that we literally have Bo Davis and Brad Davis coaching our trenches? We have that. We've got Corey Raymond, the Miyagi of DBU, coaching our corners again. I met that man after the USC game, and he's literally an ethereal presence. The guy is like liquid. The guy is like vapor. I don't even know if that guy is human. The guy's like, hello. Thought he was looking right through me. So, this T-Bot A-Bear guy is insane. I love it. T-Bot A-Bear, not T-Bob, but T-Bot A-Bear, the T-Bob kind of clone thing, burner account or whatever it is. You're hilarious. It probably is T-Bob. Who knows? Maybe it's Alondra. Someone connected with T-Bob. But either way, hilarious tweets from that T-Bot guy. But yeah. God, sorry, we kind of interrupted our flow of thought there with some stupid comments. Sorry about that, guys. We'll get better at this. We'll get better at drinking V8 Splash with vodka and trying to do a show. We'll get better at that. Is that the Tomfit truck, Chase? Doing a chase? You doing a chase? Got the track out? Sagey's racing his little cars. He got so mad. We were at the emissions office doing our emissions on our cars, on my car, and getting it registered. Hasn't been officially registered since 2023. So late 2022. Finally, we get it registered. and this little boy was in there, and he sees that Sage. This little boy was like the son of like I think the person who owned it or something. He has to be because he goes in there. This little kid, waves to us, then goes into the bathroom. This kid's like 8, maybe. Sage is only just 2. And this kid comes out with a huge thing of cars, seeing that Sage was kind of driving his little toy car around the office and stuff. He comes out here with his box of cars for Sage, and Sage is just going crazy. And my God, this boy is so good. Like, he did not rip any car out of this kid's hands. He waited until the kid let him play with him. He was so good. Like, Sage, he's such a good little guy. I hope we're going to continue to raise him right, because that made it look like, okay, we're doing something right. He didn't rip it out of the kid's hands. He's patient. He's got some, you know how to share, huh, Sage? What's up, Bubba? You want to see the screen? Here, we're gonna have another special guest on. Be careful, Sagey. He's on his little stairs. I always get so nervous, even though he's fine. Holy shit. All right, let's chase that with some water. What the hell? Okay. We might have a special guest come in here. I've sent out the invite link. I hope he does. I've made him wait a little bit. I feel bad about that. I didn't know that he was waiting. I forgot completely that I thought we had set this up for Friday. And so I was like, oh, it's not Friday. That's tomorrow. Okay. We'll just do the live stream tonight, and then we'll do his interview tomorrow. And now I'm like, why don't we just do them both at the same time? And then we can edit it out or whatever. Mike Prima, what's up, people? Arriving a little late. Go Tigers. Mike. The Italian Mike, right? You're Italian, right, Mike? There's so many Italians in Louisiana, right? It feels like there's a big Italian group. Look at those cars, huh? Getting a little worried of those cars. He says moo for when he sees giant cars because of the cars acting like cows on the show. Hey, here he is. Okay, I'm gonna introduce our man. He's coming in here right now from Northeast defensive lineman. And I was wondering if we could. I'm like, should we do this later? And it's like, we can do multiple interviews with this young man, because I think we're going to have him on the show multiple times. He's awesome player. You guys need a chance to get to know him. Sorry, I'm trying to fix everything here. This young man can play multiple different positions, but mostly is a dominant player on the defensive line. Alex Curvin. Alex, let's get you in here. There we go. How you doing, my good man? What's up, Alex?
What's up? I'm doing good. How you doing?
Alex, first time you're on the show. We're gonna do this many times, but for your first time, Alex, I really would love for you to introduce yourself to my audience. Introduce yourself to. I mean, a lot of our viewers are from Louisiana, so you're in a way talking to LSU Nation, Alex. So introduce yourself to LSU Nation and tell us what you're about.
My name Alex Kirby. I play defensive end and tight end at Northeast High School. Uh, LSU is one of my colleges I would like to go to.
And did you grow up an LSU fan?
Yes, sir. I always liked the LSU football team. Everything about
Who
them.
was who was your favorite player growing up with LSU?
Joe Burrow.
Yes, yes. Who was like your favorite like defense? Because you're wanting to be a defensive lineman, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Is that you think your position for the future, D line?
Probably linebacker.
Really? So you're thinking linebacker? You're thinking that's going to be your position? Let's change
Linebacker.
that then to linebacker. All right. Let's see here. 1 second, Alex. Sorry about this. So, Alex, how's the season been going so far with Northeast?
It's been going good. I'm leading in tackles like out of everyone, so that's been going good.
Where can we find your film? Is it just on Huddle, right?
Yeah, it is just on holding. I'll have to get with my coach to get the rest of it.
Let me see if I can put some film of yours in the background right now. Let's see. Let's see if Huddle will allow that.
And I have a lot of my film on my Twitter account too.
Oh yeah, on your Twitter. That's right. That's right. Okay, let me get to your Twitter. Alex, how's like school been going so far? Because you guys just barely started the school year, right? It's August, so it's only been like 2 months. Like, how's the school year been going for you so far?
It's been going good. Got good grades and stuff like that.
Oh wait, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Is that some film on? Oh, here we go. Some film from John Eads. Yes, John Eads has some film on you. I like this. Okay, we're gonna put this film on here. All right, Alex. Tell us what happened on this play, Alex, if you could.
Well, at first he hiked the ball and I saw the QB roll out and I just got off the tackle really fast and ran to the QB.
Because you just destroyed him, dude. Like you almost overran the kid. Like that's just beautiful. You just read the play. That's John Eads right there from WAFB with that footage. Let's see if we can find some other film from you. Recently rated a 3-star by what is it? 111 Recruiting.
Sure.
I'm gonna follow them. They've actually rated. If they're actually gonna rate my man Alex, which on 3 should get on it and be doing, I'm gonna be following them. Alex Curvin, defense. It says it lists. That's what tricked me. Is it listed you as a defensive end? We've been talking about defensive line, kind of that type of front play. I've seen that type of footage of you. You know, kind of made me think more of you as a defensive line type player. From Zachary, Louisiana, going to Northeast. Alex, what is your biggest goal for this season, though? What's the biggest goal you think that you can reach for Northeast as a team this season, as a player?
I would like to lead in all defensive stats. Everyone, I would like to lead in all defensive stats. And make it to the playoffs, like with the team. Because there's a lot of people last year playing. They seniors.
What do you think? is like the main thing that you guys could really gain from getting to the playoffs this year and really playing some high quality opponents? What do you think that can do for your game?
Like, if we make the playoffs this year, I feel like a lot of our players could get looked at and they give us a extra boost to next season. Give us a good start off to the next season.
And exactly specifically regarding you, you're going to be getting more eyes on what you're doing as a player as well.
Yes, sir.
Alex, you want to come on next week after the next game? You want to come on the show? We'll get more intensive, detailed interview ready for you where we can show the three-dimensional world of Alex Curvin to the LSU Nation. Introduce you.
Yes, sir.
All right, Alex, you have an awesome rest of your Thursday night, brother, and we'll be having you back on the show in a week.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you too, Alex. That was Alex Curvin from Northeast. I feel bad with that interview because my God, my son keeps running in here. It doesn't matter if Chelsea's here. He just keeps running in here to bother me. 1 second. I knew it would be unfair to that young man to have, my son running in the room and all that stuff. So I felt let's pause this for a better time when I can interview him without some insanity around me and insanity interrupting him like this little guy. Huh, Seiji? You're just too crazy. So sorry, Alex, but we're going to have him hopefully on after Northeast's next game. And as you saw in the footage, he's got some incredible measurables. He's got some incredible talent. This is a young man who's versatile. He's got speed. He's got strength. He's got power. He's got mobility. What he needs, in my opinion, Alex Curvin, what he doesn't have right now, that is the missing piece of his game, he needs to play against elite competition day in, day out, not just on the opposition against him across the field, but in practice on his own team. That's what Alex Curvin needs, because when he has that, he will take it to the next level. That is a young man who wants this so badly. He is so committed to this. He is so committed to taking it to the next level. You see how polite he is. The kid was almost nervous. He's so polite. He's so, wanting to everything to be correct and wanting to do everything the right way, expecting me to be correct and to do the right thing and do things the right way. And that's why I also said, let's have you come on next week to do this properly, because I've got probably about 20 questions written down that I was going through for him, but my son was just going to interrupt him, and we'll make sure that that Sage won't be in the room for that interview. We'll lock the door. How's it going, buddy? Your mama's just like, okay, you can just stay up in here. Your mama needs a break anyway. It's fine. How's everyone doing out there? That was kind of something we don't usually do, which is a live show and then an interview out of nowhere, and then a this and a that and this and that. We get breaking news, interview, live content, show madness. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you had a fun time. I hope you learned something about LSU, gained some insight. I hope you learned about Alex Curvin and what type of a talent he is. Go follow him right now on his Twitter. Let me show his Twitter right there so you all can go follow him. Please support these young kids. Support these kids who have a dream, who want to play, and are really grinding for this, really pushing for this. You guys have no idea how much this kid wants this, and that's something I really want to get across in the interview with him. When we do that interview this next week, is what type of a freak Alex is. He's such a freak. He's so committed, and also that he's so good on the field. He's going to be an absolute monster if given the opportunities. He's going to be there to take them. He's just got to be given the opportunities. He's got to get the eyeballs on him. He's got to, be seen. And so people like Jarrett Roser, Julie Bowden, they probably already know about Alex. John Eads taking that film. He knows about Alex. John Eads is a badass. Oh, sheesh. Trying to do too much. At a Northeast High, class of 2026. So he's kind of that edge presence, defensive end, linebacker, and tight end. Both sides of the ball. 6 foot, 190. Head coach Devin Baker right there. You got that. You got his NCAA ID number in there. GPA 3.13, and he's shared his awesome GPA as well, and his score results, his report card. This is a young man who's going to excel in many different ways, whether it's football, even if it's not football. This is a young man who has a bright future ahead of him, and it was an honor to have him at least on the show once, but we are hoping we're going to have him on the show as many times as possible. Alex, thank you so much, and I hope that young man absolutely wrecks it tonight. For tomorrow for Northeast. My gosh. I keep thinking it's Friday. It's so weird. My brain is stuck on this game this day is Thursday, and this game and that game are on Friday, then this game and that game's on Saturday. Like, it's Thursday. I've got to remember. It's so weird. It's so weird. So, okay, we'll catch everybody up for a final wrap-up of what we did, what we shared today. 2 receivers for LSU banged up. We've got C.J. Daniels out for a month at least. Maybe they rush him back. Maybe they risk him in one game or another. Okay. He's at least going to miss 1-2 games. Torn meniscus surgery, had it. Successful surgery. Okay. Kyle Parker, likely out for the season with an arm injury, shoulder injury. This is news that could be devastating to LSU's offense, and they're going to have to really continue to find a way and to get through yet another season-ending injury. I mean, the people who say next man up, I'm like, yeah. Is there? Is there one? Is there a next man that's coming up? You're going to have to ask yourself that coming soon here. Like, it can't just be next man up. We take pride in being next man. Like, okay, if there is a next man up, like, my God, cherish who you got. There's some people right now who I don't care if Caleb Jackson transfers. We've got Caden Durham. I mean, it's like, okay, Caden Durham goes out for the season in like the next game, and oh shit, and it would be so nice to have Caleb Jackson right now. It's like, yeah, it would. It's just be grateful that we have as many of these guys as we do on the team, and just relish in the opportunity to watch them play and see what they're able to do on the field. These are kids after all. These are teenagers. These are guys in their early 20s, you know? Everybody, check out LSUODYSSEY.com for more content. We're going to be posting something you're going to want to read in the next few hours on the site. Something we didn't even mention on this show. We were told don't mention it on your show. I know you're doing a show right now by someone who texted us. We're going to be doing this in an article on LSUODYSSEY.com. You know when I say we have breaking news, we deliver. You know when I say we have something big that's coming, we deliver. We don't say, oh, it's coming, and then nothing happens. And we've delivered for years, okay? That's not arrogant. That's a fact. So we're telling you again, big LSUODYSSEY.com. Tonight, possibly tomorrow morning. I will let you know online tonight if it's tomorrow morning. I'm not going to be doing some clickbait bullshit. I just want you guys to heads up. You're going to want to have your eye on this site because we're going to be releasing information. We're going to be releasing something that you're going to get nowhere else. And I think you might want to know about it. Just you might. I love LSU Nation, love LSU fans, even the ones who don't always enjoy us or like us. It's all good. I know you will catch up with us 10 years down the line, brother, because we're not going anywhere. Love it. Love you. Have a great weekend, everybody. You will see us doing a lot more content tomorrow. We are going to do a live show every single day from now on. You will see us doing a live show every single day from now on. Daily live shows will commence. I might be in the car. I might be in the shower. I might be in the kitchen. I might be right here with Sage. I might be in space. I might be out back having a cigarette. I might be in, some type of weird, Timothy Leary type mansion. We could be in the middle of a game. We could be in the middle of the press box. Everything is on the table now as far as LSU Odyssey content. Something has happened. Something that is very good for us, and it's helping, and it's working, and it's like, yeah. And so we're looking forward to that. We're looking forward to every single day to be able to bring you guys the best LSU content possible. And if it's not the best, at least the most enthusiastic, at least the most, intense, at least the most entertaining, at least the most wildly accurate breaking news you're going to find anywhere else. And so here we are again with some more news, and it sucks to break this news. It sucks to be the bearer of a bad message. And to be honest, I hope somehow, some way, we are completely wrong, even though I know it's not true, that we know for a fact that both of these guys are hurt. Okay. We know for a fact that both of them are hurt for at least a month type of timetable. We did have Kyle Parker today tell someone that he is out for the season, and then CJ Daniels, we do know they were afraid it was an ACL. What is the injury that usually makes you afraid that you're having an ACL, but it's actually not? A meniscus. He had a surgery for that. We've been able to confer with multiple sources on both of those stories to verify that. The one detail we cannot confirm yet, and we want to make this very certain, and we've always made this very certain because we will always tell you the truth. Okay. We cannot confirm just the one detail that he is out for the season. Can't confirm that just yet. When we can, you'll be the first to know because you are plugged in to LSUODYSSEY.com. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. I see a lot of viewers. I see a lot of interaction, people hanging out, people talking, vibing. Mike Prima, Chris Melder, Nurse Court, Slayer with a 3, the One-Eyed Scout. Everybody, take it easy. See you tomorrow.